Now more than ever, it's essential to protect yourself from the damage hackers can do. With Lenovo and Intel on your side, they help defend businesses of all sizes from all types of cybersecurity threats. But it starts with understanding the enemy you face. We're about to hear from some of the world's most successful hackers, their stories, their tricks, and their advice on how to protect yourself. Welcome to the Hacker Roundtable. Hi, I'm Shawnee Delaney, your host for the Hacker Roundtable, and we're here with some of the world's greatest hackers to discuss how to protect your small business from a variety of potentially destructive cyber attacks. In recent years, our guests have pulled off the most talked about hacks around the globe, and now they're here to tell us their stories and secrets and how you can protect yourself and your business. Thank you all for being a part of the conversation today. So first, we have the Hacktress. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am the Chief Hacktress at Unit 6 Tech and also the Senior Cybersecurity Advisor for Elemental Concept. And my specialty is cyber warfare.
Thank you for joining us today. Next, we have Bam O'Shanter.
I'm a hack of all trades, at damn good security. My specialism is nothing because I'm a cyber journalist. I touch everything.
Thank you for being here. And next we have 1337 Root. Tell us about yourself.
And I'm the CEO of Unit 6 Technologies, and my background is full spectrum cyber operations.
Thank you all for being a part of the conversation today. Let's shift gears here a little and talk about the most difficult hacks that you've ever perpetrated.
Oh, certainly. 2.5 years ago, I found myself in the middle of a war zone when I was in Kiev, Ukraine. So imagine during this chaotic situation, there's exit procedures, people with children, they want to make sure it's their children, different things like that, and especially very chaotic in a war zone. And then all of a sudden, everything halts, and it's literally down to pen and paper. And this is what happens with some of these attacks. If you get all of your hard drives wiped or all of your information wiped, how can you rebuild that quickly, especially if you're in a very critical function? Afterwards, I was able to then collaborate with like-minded people to set up an all-source intelligence fusion center, so to speak, to then try to assist other individuals to get out of very hot spots.
So let me now push the conversation into a little bit different direction with a stat that I find pretty amazing. I know most of you have experience hacking small businesses, so can you share a little bit about what you look for that makes it easy to breach their security?
Well, for me, I typically look for anything that can yield remote access, because if I can find pretty quickly that they have something open, just one thing that's showing to the internet, I then can make the conclusion they probably have more.
Googling and searching online for any record of this company, what's your financial records? Who are the senior management team? Understanding who works there, what their political views are. You suddenly get the office dynamic without actually being in the office. And that sets you up for the ability to just walk through the door and claim that you know the owner. But if you turn up and you sound like you know who you're talking about, what you're talking about, and you know the environment and the culture, it suddenly becomes, hey, you were in that one time, weren't you? Yeah, I recognize you. So it's easy to try and wangle your way in.
Right, we call that social engineering. With all the information available online, it makes it easy for a hacker to pretend like they know someone in a business. Anyone else want to weigh in?
I was actually going to say zero logs and identity. Every company, large and small, has a problem with that. And if I can find their usernames and passwords and even authentication tokens, and I can just bypass anything they have, no matter how incredible their security is, you're just authenticating as a regular user, and jackpot.
So that leads me to my next question. As a small business owner, what can you do to mitigate the threats that you've identified here?
Well, I think if you're an SMB and you either have a person inside your organization doing the coding and the development, or an outside party, one of the things that you should insist on is to follow what's called the OWASP Top 10. One in particular is your website secured with a proper encryption? You would not believe how many even really large companies, like an airplane manufacturer, where I found that they weren't using any encryption whatsoever, but yet you could log in and access flight control software. That is not a good thing. Another one is if they have a form, you want to make sure that any of the information going into that form is only the information that is needed. So you do this thing called sanitization to try to avoid anyone putting naughty things or code into those forms. Another one is a misconfiguration, especially a security misconfiguration. I had no idea I would literally find all government employee resumes and their personal information and their family's personal information a week and a half ago, just because I Googled one particular person's name, and the exposure came up in the Google search, and I could then access all of this.
As an SMB, you face significant security risks: user error, misconfigurations, disgruntled employees, AI deepfakes, social engineering. We heard real-world use cases where these negatives turned into data breaches and huge financial losses from hackers who know. We get it. You wear a lot of hats, and getting budgets approved for security mayhem prevention, it's a tough sell. The good news: you can implement basics like patch management, employee training, and access controls to beat the odds. You'll find some of these basics inside the expert Lenovo IT Experience Headquarters, or Elite HQ. Each module top-lines the most common cyber threats for mid-sized businesses and offers solutions that can help. Explore Elite HQ for yourself at elitetraininghq.com. It's a great place to learn more about ThinkShield, powered by Intel vPro. It's Lenovo's comprehensive suite of security solutions. Thanks for checking out the Hacker Roundtable today. Give your Lenovo sales rep a shout to learn how ThinkShield can upgrade your cybersecurity strategy. Until next time, I'm Shani Delaney.